Do you ever get caught by surprise and feel like test questions are a lot harder than what your teacher went over in class? If you have faced this problem, this video will help explain why and provide solutions to help you thrive. In this video, I am going to talk about Bloom's taxonomy, a simple tool that will explain the depth of learning required to answer different types of questions. According to Bloom's taxonomy, there are 6 levels of learning, from simple memorization at the bottom to creating something from previously learned information at the top. Bloom's taxonomy is usually pyramid-shaped, which symbolizes that learning at higher levels is dependent on attaining the prerequisite knowledge from the lower levels. The 6 levels of learning are 1. Remembering, 2. Understanding, 3. Applying, 4. Analyzing, 5. Evaluating, and 6. Creating. Let's take a deeper dive into each of these levels. Number 1. Remembering. This is the most basic level of Bloom's taxonomy, in which the main task for the student is to recognize, retrieve, or recall relevant material or knowledge. The expectation teachers often have is that students are familiar enough with the material to define a term. Most of the time, Level 1 questions show up as fill-in-the-blank, true or false, or multiple choice questions. Number 2. Understanding. This level requires students to move slightly beyond factual recall and to recognize, contextualize, and define in their own words a concept they have been exposed to. Level 2 test questions are often short answer or essay questions and cannot be easily guessed. The first 2 levels of learning are what most teachers try to cover during class. If you pay close attention in class and make sure you get your questions answered, you should be at this level of learning. Number 3. Applying. At this stage, students relate their knowledge to different scenarios. A student who has accomplished Level 3 learning can use the information that has been given during class to create a viable solution to a problem. Homework and practice questions often present opportunities to hone this type of learning. This and the following levels recruit high-order cognitive skills as they build on the knowledge acquired from previous levels. Number 4. Analyzing. This stage of learning requires breaking down concepts into their constituent parts and interpreting how those parts are connected. You'll know you've achieved Level 4 learning once you understand how the various components relate to one another and to the process or problem as a whole. Typical questions for this level involve inference, mainly through interpreting graphs or compare and contrast questions. Number 5. Evaluating. This stage requires making judgments by synthesizing the information presented to you. A lot of hard SAT questions and AP test questions fall in this category. In a classroom setting, evaluating involves students being able to connect pieces of material presented in different lectures and figuring out how they intersect. Number 6. Creating. This stage of learning requires the development of a hypothesis and justification of its validity. This is possible only once you have mastered everything in a particular area and can reorganize elements into a new pattern or structure. Working in research or pursuing a PhD requires you to think at this highest level. As a high school student, it can seem like opportunities to achieve Level 6 learning are limited, so we'll explore some creative outlets later in the video. Here's a biology example. 1. Remembering. What are the different organelles in a cell? 2. Understanding. Describe the functions of each organelle. 3. Applying. If a student is running a marathon, which type of organelle would be the most active? 4. Analyzing. Compare and contrast the functions of a rough endoplasmic reticulum and a Golgi apparatus. 5. Evaluating. If a cell is not producing enough ATP, but you find out that glycolysis and Krebs cycle is functioning properly, what other cellular process could be dysfunctional? 6. Creating. Design an experiment to test the hypothesis of your chosen dysfunctional cellular process in question 5. Now that you understand the different levels of learning, go back to your recent tests and see what kinds of questions you usually miss. If you are missing remembering and understanding types of questions, pay more attention in class, take good notes, and consistently review them throughout the week. Feel free to watch the study cycle video to learn more about this process. If you are missing applying types of questions, make sure you are doing weekly homework questions and clearing up any doubts you have about difficult questions. If you are missing questions that require analyzing and evaluating, you need to figure out how the material from different lectures is connected and what the big picture is. The best way to achieve this is by doing a lot of practice tests and going over why an answer choice is right and why other choices are incorrect. Doing practice tests will automatically challenge you to synthesize the material you have learned in different lectures. If you are an AP student, make sure you do as many practice tests as you can get. Do not be intimidated or disheartened if you find yourself not knowing answers to questions on practice tests. Use it as a learning tool to get feedback and fill in any potential gaps in your knowledge. The more tests you take, the easier it will get, and the better you will perform when exam day arrives. If you want to reach the creating stage of learning, the best way to do so is to pursue your curiosity by going beyond the material covered in class. That could mean reading peer-reviewed papers, watching YouTube videos about the topic, finding real-world applications of the concept being taught, or perhaps asking your teacher for any at-home experiments you could do to help you apply your understanding. Achieving mastery at this level could take years or even decades. So if this is something you are passionate about, why not start now? I hope you found Bloom's taxonomy to be a useful framework for understanding your own learning. Feel free to revisit this video if you need a reminder of the different levels we discussed, and I will see you in the next video.